2025 Autobahn, Illinois race season. Here we go. We got 15 seconds.
Hey everybody, Rage Thomas here. This is my first ever race breakdown of a crit. I know I've posted a lot of stuff in the past, but this is the first one I'm actually commentating. So bear with me. I'm going to learn how to do this hopefully better. We have a lot of races this year. Last year I did over 50 different race days, the year before 30. So this year we're going to at least try to match some of those numbers. So this is the first Illinois road race of the year. This was March 29th. South Chicago Wheelmen presented the Autobahn Country Club Criterium Series. In fact, I consider this more of a circuit race. So here we go. Here's the start. I almost eat utter shit running into the back of that other guy. My friend Aiden's off the front. He is going berserk right now. We're going to get data here in just a few seconds, but you can see kind of to the far right, he's on the front, brand new Cervelo S5. Very jealous of that bike. But yeah, he's doing probably 800 watts into this headwind. Once we get this map on board, there we go. The wind is coming from the southwest, and so the bottom left of the map is where the wind's coming from, and it's going towards the top right of the map. I filmed this on Insta360, as you saw at the beginning. I did a little cool spin, and then I took the file for my Wahoo, put it into Garmin, and then Garmin has an API built into Insta360 to get this data up, so that's how I did this. So this circuit is a interesting course. It is 3.56 miles long. It is normally filled with cars and motorcycles, but as it's early season, they donate the days to South Chicago Wheelmen, the club, to host this, I guess, crit, but more of a road race style. Currently the wind's coming from the right. As you can see, I am very well protected. I feel like in the 4 or 5 categories, they really don't know how to echelon properly, and they don't know how to get a good draft in a crosswind. This took me a while to learn as well, but right now I'm, as you can see, not doing any watts. You know, my zone 2 goes up to about 240, 250 watts, and I am pretty much chilling. My heart rate zone, 152, is the top of my zone 2 heart rate, and to about 175 for zone 3 in that realm, maybe 172. And so as you see here, we're just moving up a little. I'm on the protected side right now. Here's Aiden in this Road Toads jersey on his S5. He's the one that was off the front at the very beginning. I just come around him low-key. So I did this race last year. Last year it was brutally painful. No breakaways happened, but it definitely tried. Crazy crosswinds here. As you can see, it's not very protected. There's really no trees, no cover on much of the course, and where there is the cover, the wind's not at the best angle for that. So you can see it rained earlier in the day. There was a lot of crashes for the morning TT. I skipped the TT because it's just something that I didn't really want to get up for and go do. So as we come around here, we have 19 corners. As I said, 3.56 miles, a lot going on. And I'm just holding out. On my left here is Benjamin on Indigo. He is a very strong rider. He was one of the riders I had marked when I was looking at the roster. Just someone I know that can be sneaky and really get ahead quickly. The field was 45 riders. I actually ended up getting 8th place, and we'll kind of see that at the end. But we'll kind of just let this first little bit play out. So as we make this turn, we're starting to get a tailwind. You see our speed, we're at 24, and we're just going to slowly rise here. As I said, it's a car racing track, and so there's a lot of rubber laid down. And unlike a city street where it's like grit and grime and oil, there's not as much grit, grime, and oil on here, but the rubber, when it gets wet, does not provide much traction. In fact, it's really can be quite dangerous. At the end of this front straightaway, we're doing almost 30 to 35 miles an hour, depending on how much power the people in front are doing. And there's this bus stop chicane. It can be, there's a lot of crashes there. In fact, there was a crash in this race, the only crash of the race, at that very spot, and I assume, it was well behind me, I assume they kind of just overcooked it. So you see me here, I'm going very far left. I didn't get a chance to pre-ride this, so I don't know how wet it's going to be. So I wanted to give myself the best angle going through this. You can see I lightly touch my rear brakes, just kind of feathering them. There's some standing water. There's a seam there that, when I used to ride motorcycles on this track, it got a lot of people caught out, so I just didn't want to do it. Didn't want to fall there on first lap. It's pretty embarrassing. This is slightly uphill right now, but with the tailwind, we can see we're starting to put some power down. People are getting excited. First race of the year. So I kind of just do the minimum to stay with the group. I'm not too worried about an attack going up the road at this point. We're going to quickly come around the north course, and there'll be a lot of cross and headwind. So yeah, we'll just stick on board here just for a few more seconds and kind of finish the first lap. All right, so we find ourselves back on the far south side of the course. We are looking at a direct headwind right now. There's a guy on the right talking to me. I have no idea what he's saying. Don't remember. That guy's going backwards fast. But it's getting a little bit more spicy. 25 miles an hour into the headwind, doing 300 watts. FTP is right around 305 right now. The week before this, I was actually in New York for a work conference, and I did not get any rides in, and I was drinking much too much alcohol. And so, I didn't really have any good warm-up for this. I had a ride the day before. It was about 15 miles as openers. But right now we're behind Paul Goen. He's on Triple X Racing. Great wheel to follow. Makes a giant draft, and he's always down to get spicy. 4.7 miles into this race, I think we're at about 6 minutes or so. Sorry, not 6 minutes, about 10 minutes. But you can see, I zoom in here, and you can see there's a few guys up ahead, and there's something happening. And I'm looking, and I see Benjamin. I see Doug from Brazen Dropbots also getting ahead, and EMC Masters guys. Now, I know those guys are all very strong. There's also a guy in a blue shirt who I actually wasn't fully aware of, but now I definitely am. So I see this as very threatening, and so I start laying down some power. There's Kimo on the left, buddy at Indigo Cycling. We're all out of mostly Chicago and Milwaukee area for this race. So as you can see, holding down some big watts, 500 plus, and I know I need a bridge ahead. So 33 miles an hour with the wind. I don't want to make anyone come along. I want to make sure that I kind of get ahead and break away. So my heart rate's at over 180. This is painful. We're going to look back at me. I'm not going to say hi, obviously. A little bit of feathering into this corner, carrying a lot of speed. I wish I would have just carried it, but I really didn't want to crash. And yeah, I'm going to try my best to make this break. Definitely in the hurt locker at this point, feeling it. That week of drinking in New York is catching up with me. Also, if you guys like this view, the Insta360 is wild. It can do some pretty cool angles and everything else. Let me know what you want to see. I'm trying to do this side view so you can see a little bit of what my hands are doing. And everything else. So, I make this break. They got a break. They snapped the elastic. I don't think these guys were fully realizing that they had fully snapped the elastic, but I catch them here. 185 heart rate. I am at the top of zone 5. I am in an unpleasant position here. We're about to enter a crosswind. This guy just backs off. I was hoping he would have got on. And unfortunately, I have to put down power for a few more seconds to get into this breakaway and fully cement myself in. This is the big boy breakaway. Everyone here is, 5'9" or taller. A few of us are thick boys, Doug and Benjamin included, and myself, obviously. We're passing the Masters field now, so they're just going to kind of stay to the side. But yeah, I slot myself in a little echelon. The wind's coming from the right now. But this breakaway and that effort really did me in. I am not at a training place this early in the year to support a VO2 effort. I haven't really done any VO2 training. In fact, I'm just finishing threshold in base season, more or less. In fact, I just got back from team camp when I'm recording this. I got some big miles in my legs, but yeah, this hurts. Over 180, I'm not feeling. Maybe 185. 185 and above, definitely, I'm a goner soon. But 195 is my max heart rate. So. Thankfully, these guys, I said to them, I'm not feeling too good. Ben's thanking me here for, not thanking me, but congratulating me on making this break, because I had to come from a long ways back. But yeah, trying to get a good draft here. And, nothing happens for a little while, so we'll just continue accelerating through this. The brake rolled pretty good. I was actually impressed. Everyone was pretty friendly, but there was definitely some times where I definitely did not need to come through here. I should have sat back and not pulled my turn, taking a break for maybe another few minutes just to catch my breath, and I didn't do that, and we're going to see that result of that effort later in the race. So at this point, you guys saw we were rolling pretty well. At this point, I am truly not feeling good. Ben and I have both kind of dropped ourselves a little bit from this breakaway. They're looking back at us. We're, as I said, this is pretty early season. We're only Cat 4s at this point. These guys in front of us are pretty strong. They've been laying on the watts on the trainer over the winter, and I think this is pretty much the end of our break experience. It was fun while it lasted. We did a good portion of the race. It's my first ever real breakaway. I think I could be a good breakaway rider. I can hold the watts, but today just that bridge took it out of me. The lack of preparation the week before. These crosswinds are very challenging to manage. But those are all excuses. Everyone has them, and they all stink. So next time I need to put down some more watts and stop bitching. So at this point, I think what's going to happen is Ben and I, let's talk about some other stuff about the race quickly. There goes flying by on the motorcycle. This total race is about 20 miles for us. I normalized 285 watts. I averaged 273. That's actually, low for me. Last year I normalized over 300 for this race. But I backed off quite a bit. We're with the wind right now. We're going to roll some turns. And then I make a decision further into the next lap that, I'm just going to go back to the main group and go for the field sprint. This race, if you use road results, I was ranked let's see here. Yeah, this race lasted a total of 50 minutes and 37 seconds. It got me a score of 367 on points for road race results, pretty good. And I got 5 upgrade points, and so I am definitely mandatory, about 9 points short of being able to upgrade to Cat 3. But I could voluntarily upgrade, and I plan to do that later this year. The gentleman who won this race last year actually got second place in the crit on this. I think the TT got second place, and then got fourth place in the road race, and then that's all he races. Good on him, Eric. Fast dude. He should upgrade. He race more is what he should do. He's a strong fellow. And then the EMC guy, Ryan, also just race more, man. You guys are fast. You guys could easily be Cat 3s and demolish those fields too. An upgrade's not a punishment; it's a trophy. But anyways, we are slow rolling around. I'm in the hurt locker. I'm only doing 260 watts. That's zone 3. I'm up to just about FTP here, just below 300. But just not feeling good. My legs don't have it. I'm not feeling it. We'll just kind of skip ahead until I get back to the field.
Chasing group, 10 seconds, 20 seconds back. I'm gonna sit up, recover, try to go for a field sprint. I'm gonna do about 175, 180 heart rate, average 170, but no VO2 training hurts. See them now. left to go probably. Here they come.
All right, so as you can see, I was well too aware of what was going on, and talking at the camera, which is kind of embarrassing. But you know, we're back in it. We're back in the group. You know, this is an interesting experience. You know, most of these guys have been sitting in chilling, right? They've had to do a little bit of work to stay with this group. I'd say probably 15 people got lapped or dropped from this main peloton. But there's definitely some guys in here that are some quick finishers. I accidentally let this gap go out a little bit. Get back on relatively easy. I gave myself a nice break and definitely got my heart rate back down, and that, you know, helped me here down some power to catch back on. But what's interesting is you know, I don't know if you can hear it right now, but there's quite a few guys who are asking me, you know, how far ahead did we get? And you know, if you can't see them, it doesn't really matter, and there's zero chance we're going to bring it back. I don't think this field had the firepower at this point to pull back those guys. The two guys who finished 1-2 are very strong. Doug on Brazen was eventually dropped from the front two guys and got a nice podium finish a few seconds behind them. But everyone's kind of asking right now, like, oh, how far ahead did we get? And my answer was a minute, 30 seconds. It was actually really weird being dropped from the break and being in no man's land for so long, because I really didn't get a good perspective of how far it actually was. You know, when I fast forwarded through some earlier, or you can watch my full, you know, 51-minute video. You know, I almost catch the Masters peloton. I was so close, and you know, I wouldn't be allowed to draft off them, so it really didn't make much of a difference. But I thought that was kind of interesting. This gentleman on the right, Team Wisconsin, was definitely asking. So, you know, at this point, I sit in. I'm just trying to save myself. I'm not going to get anywhere near the front. I'm just going to kind of see if what everyone's doing. Try not to crash. And just kind of hang out. So we'll kind of fast forward into you know, towards the end of the race. All right, so you joined me with about 2/3 of a lap to go. We are currently in a kind of crosswind, tailwind section right now, doing 26 miles an hour. My buddy Connor up here on the front from Team LAPT. He comes down for a ton of races. Dude races a ton. In fact, we just got done doing team camp together. So hell yeah, Connor, or go Tucson. This other dude right in front of me, he is wearing the same kit he always wears, which says send nudes, but like NOODS, so kind of funny. Team Wisconsin here on the right. This guy has a good finishing position. I think he ends up getting 5th place. John Almendarez, I believe that's how you say his name. We got Ben on the right. He was our other break mate. He's come back. You know, he gave up the ghost a little bit later than me. But yeah, we both you know, made it back to the group. We got swallowed up. We got Kimo in front of us. Paul going out. Now I see Paul's wheel here, and I know he's a feisty guy. He'll put down a lot of power. And so I want to get on that wheel. And so I find myself kind of not in my best position. I'd rather be either in the middle of the group or something. This guy on the left, I don't really know much about him in this blue kit. He's got the Giro head. He's going for the full Wout van Aert look-alike with the Team Adone. So I kind of sit here getting a pretty good draft right now. Paul's grinding at 50 cadence, man. Come on, raise that cadence. And so I'm kind of looking across here, seeing what's happening. Kima's definitely kind of screwing me here. Good job on him for protecting his wheel. I kind of moved back because I really don't want to be in the draft. You can see I'm doing 500-600 watts. Only 20 miles an hour, so completely burning matches that I've already mostly burned earlier in this race with the breakaway. I noticed the guy in the green blue kit, he kind of a squirrely rider, didn't really want to end up next to him, and so that's someone I was avoiding. This nudes guy I know has a good finishing kick. I got a Ben right next to me, and I should have just stuck to his wheel like a piece of gum. He's a really strong guy, and I know he had got his recovery. Paul's going backwards, not sure what happened there. So what's happening is we have a headwind right now, and as we come around the corner, we're going to turn into a crosswind. And what I don't notice on my far left is my buddy Duncan, Triple X Racing. Dude can hide all race and suddenly at the end do this like 30-second last lap freaking effort, and it always works for him. He does amazing, and you can see he's just shot ahead. I realized, I'm like, oh, I completely did not see him. I was looking forward on the course, not to my left, and that was a big mistake. So I get caught out here. I'm doing crazy watts. You know, I'm pretty smoked at this point. So I hop in this draft, and what I should have kept doing is slide up on the right and try to make it to the next group. And because I don't, I'm sitting in this nudes guy kit. I definitely lose some seconds to Duncan, Team Wisconsin, John, Ben, and Keem up the road. So as we come around here, I switch to the left side to continue getting the draft, because again, it's a headwind, and now it's a crosswind from the right. So at this point, I'm like, let's open it up. Really annoying, my data all stops, but I maxed out about 980 watts, which is not very much for me. I was pretty smoked at the end of this race. See Keem up ahead, trying to catch him. You know, he looks back, he sees me coming. He just does this one little kick right there and just keeps me from passing him. So end up getting 8th. First place, Eric, congratulations. Second place, Ryan on EMC. Doug in 3rd, you know, my brake mates. And then Duncan with his, of course, last lap 22nd jump did amazing. And then John, Ben, me, or sorry, Kima, and then me. So good job. And everyone will see you out there.